What is the most NSFW thing you've seen at a party? Friend hired a prostitute for his day party and she proceeded to bang any guy who wanted it. None of them even knew. They all thought she was some chick who was visiting from Georgia. Saw a girl getting banged by her boyfriend from the back while she was blowing guys. There was a line to who was getting sucked off next. Did her mom then burst in and pull her by the hair out of there? Dude and lesbian F-king on the kitchen floor. Dude came and lesbian immediately started punching him in the face. Weirdest thing I've ever seen. I just wanted a beer. I was sitting down bored as hell. Then my cousin and her boyfriend sit next to me on the lover seat. She starts giving him a blowjob. I was too drunk to care. And I sat there while they were yeah. Your cousin wanted a threesome with you. Friend's mom blowing a bunch of teenagers. I walked in on two guys F-king on a bed. While a girl masturbated in the corner. That was unique. At a party with people from school. We're chilling in the host's bedroom with the lights turned off. There's a girl on the bed throwing up everywhere from drinking too much and a guy with her feeling her up and getting in as much makeout time as possible between chunders. My two other friends are dancing in the room with nothing but underpants on and they have a LAN cable running through both their underpants. Host's dad comes home and walks into the room. Turns light on. Girl throws up all over the floor and dancing friends keep dancing singing they're connected to the internet. Top night really. When I was 17-18 I worked as a, wait for it, bar mitzvah bouncer. At any given time during the party. You could lift pretty much any tablecloth in the ballroom and find a 13-year-old girl with a little 12-13-year-old wiener in her mouth. This was my life 2 Saturdays a month my senior year of high school. I tried not to cock block too hard but it was kinda my job. I went to the wrong bar mitzvahs. Disclaimer. I was at this party. And this happened shortly after I left. My friends called me to tell me about it while I was on my way home. A friend of mine was dating this girl for a while. And one night he had a big-ish gathering at his apartment with his roommates and a bunch of friends. The night ended when his girlfriend was bragging that she could probably pick up a bottle off the ground with her vagina. Nobody thought she was serious until she took her underwear off. Lifted her dress up just so. Squatted down and lifted the empty bottle off the ground by devouring the neck of the bottle. In front of like 10 of her boyfriend's friends. Right after I left. God damn it. When I was 20 I was visiting a friend at Chico State. One of the night's girls gone wild was at a party. It was nuts. The best part was when they got 2 girls on the roof of the house. Flashing everyone in the backyard. There were spotlights from the GGW crew. Cameras everywhere. The crowd is chanting pussy. Pussy. And the girls drop trow. Then the crowd chants eat that shitty. Eat that shitty. And the girls are going down on each other. On the roof. On film. In front of hundreds. Chico State everybody. Can confirm. When I was 18. I threw a keg party one weekend when my parents were out of town. A guy came to the party who I didn't know but who was a friend of a friend so I was cool with it. Let's call him Jake. Jake got absolutely shit-faced. So shit-faced that he took off all of his clothes. Threw up in my parents' hot tub. And then locked himself in the bathroom and passed out. After Jake passed out, he lost control of his bowel movements and shat himself. Naked. Lying on the floor in the bathroom. We used a coat hanger to open the door and the smell was horrendous. Jake committed so many party fouls that my buddy decided to shave off one of his eyebrows. Since it was my party, I unfortunately had to clean up the mess in both the bathroom and hot tub. I saw Jake about 2 months later at the bar and he covered my tab all night. That's at least nice of him to cover the tab and try to own up to what he did. Not me. But a friend of mine and most of his high school friends saw a couple on a couch at a big high school party go from kissing to fondling to making out to foreplay to sex to an L to hushting on the couch afterwards. My friend showed me the girl's Facebook with the intro yeah. That's the girl that took a crap on the couch at that party after getting FK'd in the ass in front of all of us. Didn't see it myself. But at a friend's party this straight guy agreed to get FK'd in the ass by a gay dude in front of everyone. The day after he played it off like it was no big deal. Totally owned up to it and wasn't openly bothered by it. Doubt he is straight. I was at this one party where a drunk guy got in a fight with one of those easy up tent tarp thingies. He beat the crap out of it for about 20 minutes then kind of collapsed on top. Next thing I know his pants are unzipped and I think he may have been jerking off onto it. Or maybe he was F-king it? I didn't bother to go check. Best makeup sex I ever had. Maybe a little late. But a guy I used to know had an obsession with his testicles. He was always stealing people's phones at parties and taking pics of his sack to put as their screensaver. Also, God forbid anyone pass out or fall asleep because they will end up with this guy's balls on their face. Nude twin sisters licking whipped cream off each other's nipples. College party. The house was telling people that they were girls gone wild. Drunk chick puked in the jungle juice bowl and felt really sorry so she chugged it straight from the bowl. My friend was talking to two black guys and wanted to know who had the bigger dick. So she blew them both in the kitchen. Cool. Hey, my Halloween plans are kind of iffy right now. Mind if I come to your party this year? I came in here thinking my story of a little person getting gangbanged at my freshman prom party was going to compete. Now I'm leaving to go to church and pray for y'all motherfuckers. No. Get back here and tell us that story. Naked Chinese guy did a backflip once in the mosh pit of a dance party. It was pretty intense. I like the twist at the front. Myself. My buddy and 7 girls naked in a sauna by a lake. The lake water was warmer than the air so steam rose off it into a moonless sky filled with stars. Pretty surreal. Guy kicked a cat hard enough to kill it. We were at my buddy's place. Gearing up for a rager. When this dude shows up. Apparently he was a friend of a friend or something. I had never seen him before. But someone I knew rolled with him a few times I guess. Anyways. The host's girlfriend had a couple cats. They were indoor-outdoor cats and super friendly. One of the cats decided it liked this dude and wouldn't leave him alone. Constantly rubbing against his legs and stuff. The guy would kind of boot the cat out of the way. A few minutes later it'd be right back. A couple hours into the night. I guess he had enough and kicked it across the yard. Killed it on the spot. The girlfriend was standing right there when he did it. She just burst into tears. Everyone gets pissed off. Dude almost gets his ass kicked before running off. Party F-king ended right then and there. I've never seen a party grind to such a halt. We buried the cat. Had one last quiet beer. And left. Whoa. FCK that guy. I went to a distant family function and one of the aunts was known as a dumb W-tree. That's me sugarcoating it. She got so drunk she was puking in the toilet. As I walked by I saw her splashing the puke toilet water on her face like some face wash commercial. Some guy took a piss from the balcony right on the host's car. The second he finished. He also puked. At a party my junior year of high school and witnessed the Honors Society president give rounds of knowledge aka blowjobs to 8 dudes. She had the nickname as rounds for the rest of HS. A friend of mine hooked up with a girl at a raging party once. They decided to consummate their budding relationship right away. With the only hitch being where this was an older home. And there was a tiny half bath at the top of the stairs, literally the size of an airplane lav. Imagine our surprise when the door bursts open and the two of them, with trousers about the ankles, tumble out and halfway down the steps. He will never live it down. I've made sure of it. In a very dark spot in a local nightclub, relaxing by the tables, were 2 girls and a guy in the middle. The girls were blowing him. Taking turns. Awesome. I used to hang out with some real winners. Mostly a bunch of 16-year-olds hanging out with a few 21-year-old burnouts who were willing to buy booze for us. Anyway. The one kid's, let's call him Brad, his mom hosted our debauchery on a regular occasion. She was our trash winners material. One night we were all doing some blow and had about 4 cases of natural light between about 15 of us. Just burning, ya know? Anyway. Brad, myself, and 2 other chaps are sitting in the kitchen playing euchre when Brad's mom walks and looks at us and promptly places herself under the kitchen table and starts to swallow one of the other chaps' sausage like it's the secret to a long and healthy life. I mean, it is audible to everyone in attendance, especially her son. Brad sat there stone-faced, resigned to the whole experience like it was normal F-king behavior. Chaps are sitting in the kitchen playing euchre. Where on earth are you from? A foreign exchange student from the UK. Pretty sure he's a Scotsman. Would pull out his uncircumcised sklong and start stuffing coins in the foreskin like it was a purse. He thought it was impressive and somehow would turn on the ladies. Luckily he usually passed out shortly afterwards and couldn't embarrass himself further. Except for the change spilling out of his dick as he lay there snoring. That was still weird. Just realized that actually I'm now for an independent Scotland. I once walked into the kitchen at a house party and found a Royal Marine wanking off the host's dog. I turned around and left that room. And they say SAS training is intense. A friend of a friend, girl, was grinding this guy and he jizzed in his pants. The look on his face was priceless. I just ate a grape. A gay threesome on a deck in full view and only 10 meters or so from an L train. Edit. It was Chicago. It was about 10 years ago. Can't remember where for those of you looking to go to the same house next weekend. Somewhere between Wrigleyville and Uptown. Girls going down on each other and when they were finished they ran out breathing on everyone, so they can smell it, and telling them it was their first time. Oh cute, oh cute, oh cute, oh cute. Well, in high school I went to a party and I'm told one of my friend's mom tried to shove an inflatable cow up my ass. Spent the night at a party last weekend and I wake up in the middle of the night in between 3 couples having sex all around me and not a single one questioning a thing. Some chick getting a train run on her at a Halloween party. Speaking of which, how's your sister doing? I was at a former friend's house at a party when I was about 14. A guy fell asleep and people started stuffing his ass full of food and baba wipes and some dude was farting on that guy's face too. That was the time I figured out that falling asleep at parties is not something you want. Also, don't hang out with shitty people. Went to a friend's house in college for a party. Went to go to the bathroom and I walked in on a 18-year-old high school girl getting railed up the ass but his next door neighbor who was in his 40s. A coworker once stood on a swivelly chair. This girl was at a party I was at. I had filled my Svedka bottle with water. She took it and chugged. She pretended to get drunk. And proceeded to shove a remote up her vagina in front of everyone. She'd only drank out of that bottle. Pretty sure you can taste the difference between vodka and water. But that may just be me. People began using the carpeted floor in the basement. By the end of the night there was piss and puke all over the floor. I haven't been back to that house. But I can only imagine the stain. I was in college. It started out as a relatively low-key party with sci-fi club members till a guy and a girl who weren't actually dating at that point went upstairs so she could try blowing him with pop rocks in her mouth and 1 or 2 others went up to watch. All I really saw firsthand was her head bobbing through the doorway. My girlfriend and I left at that point. But I'm 80% certain it turned into a sloppy nerd orgy. Common nerd orgy. I thought it was pop rocks. Halloween party. I witnessed a girl dresses as a Nazi soldier hike her skirt up and begin riding her boyfriend dresses as a Jew. Sitting directly next to them is an older woman dressed as Glenda the Good Witch. Glenda passes the blunt. Lets out a cough laugh and ever so happily exclaims, "Isn't my daughter crazy?" That same night I walked into a huge gangbang looking for the bathroom. Ace's Halloween parties are the best parties. I want all these people to attend a single party. 2 girls scissoring with a double-ended DLDO. I once tore the bathroom sink out of the wall at my friend's party while having sex with my girlfriend propped up on it. I used to go to these naked bacchanalia type parties in rural Appalachia. So I've seen a lot of firelight playing softly across various dicks and vulvas. A girl using an unopened champagne bottle as a DLDO at a SI party. She was putting on a show for us and riding it when she managed to uncork it. Whoosh. The spray was nothing short of spectacular. And we got a bonus show when her boyfriend had to dig the cork out. I was in high school at a party and a girl a year older than me sat on the dining room table and FK'd herself with a beer bottle for the whole party to see. When she was finished she took a guy upstairs and had very loud sex with him and guys lined up outside the door for their turn. She ended up in PRN after high school. Edit. Forgot words. A drunk girl decided the corner pocket on my buddy's pool table was a great place to squat and take a piss. She was thrown out and passed out in the front yard where she stayed all night. This might get buried, but I've got a whopper. I was at a house party where my sister ended up living 2 years later. And we were having a lot of fun. There was a set of steps that went up to the second floor. Located right by the front door where my friends and I were hanging out. All of a sudden we hear a shriek and turn to watch a girl fall down the steps in her heels. She rolls over at the bottom of the steps onto her back screaming like crazy. So we took a couple steps to investigate. She had completely snapped her leg right above the ankle. Not only was it hanging at a right angle from the rest of her lower leg, but the bone was sticking through the skin. Some kid basically had a blowjob party where all the dudes sat in a circle. Whipped their dicks out. Well, to a house with a bunch of people with this chick I met on Tinder. Got uncomfortable because people were yelling at each other, so I snuck out to grab a battery for my SIG and sat in my car. I got a call to come back and so I did and they seemed to be calming down. Suddenly they start yelling again and everyone started yelling and one dude f***ing stabbed the other in the stomach with a pen. Then everything just got super quiet and everyone immediately did ghetto surgery on him, which involved removing it. I got a text from my ex while I was going swimming that she'd seen me with her and warned me that she was super into spice or something and was known to be a druggie. So that gave some perspective. Warned me that she was super into spice or something. Did she have amazingly blue eyes and did the sandworm crash the party? At a party in white trash part of town. This really skanky but kind of cute probable smack addict chick offering $20 to blow guys. Eventually she got so wasted she passed out in a chair with her mouth open and people started f***ing with her. At first it was just the normal arsehole drawing stuff. Then someone took her shirt off. Then they started using her as an ashtray. Then a dude pissed on her. And eventually a few guys jerked off in her mouth. That really f***ed me up for a while. Undressing someone who's passed out. Masturbating into her mouth. That's stuff you should call the police about. Dude. That's called rape. SX. The fire alarm went off and it was at a place with a high ceiling. Someone tried to get on a chair to turn it off. But still couldn't reach it. So they stacked another chair on top of that. Luckily there were no washer people present at that party. So did they turn it off? I'm on the edge of my seat. My friends and I were raging at this girl's condo by the beach. On the 3rd floor there was a sliding glass door with a screen that you could open and it faced out over the driveway. There wasn't a balcony, it was just a sliding door. Kind of strange. Anyways. My friend had been vigorously shotgunning beers all throughout the night. After the party began to slow down. He feeling an urge to vomit. He runs to the sliding door. Opens it and without even realizing that the screen was still closed. Projectile vomits through the screen and some of the vomit splashed back all over his face and clothes. The cars below were also covered in vomit. He did take the screen outside though and sprayed it with a hose immediately after. Which was cool.